Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Survivor True Fans Unite, also known as STFU. I'm your host, Jay, and the episode we are reviewing is called Survivor Smack Talk, which is episode 7. And with me are a bunch of guys who know a lot about Smack Talk. Let's start by saying hi to Shane. Shane, how you doing?
Yeah, what's up? What's up, everyone?
Yeah.
Did I do my Andre impersonation right there?
Pretty close.
Uh,
Coach Mitch, how you doing?
Good. A really good episode. Just really excited to get into it and talk to it about everyone.
All right. Awesome. And Bob, checking in with you.
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Let's get it on. Lastly, we have Tone. How you doing tonight?
Good. Game recognizes game.
It sure
Nice one.
does. So Andre is missing with us tonight, so we can smack talk him
Wait,
behind his back.
I promised I'd be nice to him this week too.
Wow.
He
never
came to
promised
me
that to
after
you.
last week's episode to talk about his sensitive baby feelings. It was kind of sad.
Well,
He cried a bit. But yeah, so now I was
maybe-
super nice to him.
Call him
maybe you
Cedric.
can be a nice to him and the rest of us. Good smack talk him.
Here.
There you go. All right. Let's talk about the immunity challenge first. I think that was, to me, that was the big highlight on the episode. We had the immunity challenge, the endurance challenge of, them holding on to a couple handles with trying to keep a bucket in the air with 20% of their weight, preventing it from hitting the ground.
Pre-game.
Pre-game weight.
5%.
Pre-game. It was 25%. Okay, a quarter of their weight. And just a quick recap. It starts off. Cedric falls off right away. Anyway,
20 seconds in.
Challenge dud.
Tone has some feelings about that, I'm sure.
I guess it's the last time I can say he's a bitch. He's not on the show anymore.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
And then it gets down to they're split into two groups, and it gets down to the four powerhouses: Eva Joe on one side and David and Kyle on the other. And there's a bit of smack talk, title of the episode, going on between I guess mostly between the guys, but a lot between David and Kyle. And then the final two is Joe versus David, otherwise known as The Rock versus Captain America, as everyone was saying. And David pulls it out in a record amount of time. So let's get everyone's thoughts on that. Shane, let's start with you. What were your thoughts on that challenge?
I think it's good. I was actually really surprised at how long those guys stayed up for. Like it's crazy the grip strength they had, and they're just doing it with one hand. Like I've never seen anyone really relax like that in the past, where they're just holding one hand and not really like concentrating. When before you see people just stone faced, not moving, and holding it there. Right? I thought it was cool that Joe was on one side, David was on the other, like the two strong guys. So it's awesome that it came down to them. But you know what? I like those challenges every once in a while. But obviously, the stronger people have the advantage there.
I guess you could say it was actually Black Adam versus Captain America, if we want to talk superheroes, because The Rock was Black Adam.
Oh, I gotcha. Yes, I like that. I was like, what?
That could work, yeah.
Yeah, good call.
Mitch, your thoughts?
I like this smack talk that David and Kyle had, especially when like Kyle was saying that his a bucket's tire, and David's like, well, that's where mine started, hasn't moved, and he's holding on to it with one hand, and Kyle's like just grabbing on for dear life. So I thought it was the pretty good smack talk by David, and he backed it up as well, which is always what you want to do when you're putting out some smack talk. So, and get on Eva there for the lasting as long as that she did, hanging in there, showing that she's once again one of the really strong betters, and yeah, that was a fun watch because of the smack talk on there at the end, and also Shaheen doing the waka 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 waka.
That was awesome. That was
Mhm.
so amazing. Bob, your thoughts?
I thought the edit was awesome with just what Mitch said at the end with Shaheen's bit, and then, but it did feel like we watched it for as long as the challenge took.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
yeah, I enjoyed it. It was
I
good.
agree.
But I think it seems unfair that when David is Goliath.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in that challenge, I've seen strong guys also lose, right? Also not do well before, just because their grip strength isn't proportionate to their weight.
Like Cedric.
Well, I wouldn't count him as a strong guy, but I'm sure we've seen pretty muscular guys. I can't think of them offhand, but it's not always the biggest, buffest guys that win that. Like Charlie
Well,
last season, right? He's pretty wiry, but he trained his grip strength and he lasted a very long time.
I think because of
Um,
him, I think a lot of people are training their grip strength now.
Yeah, and they're gonna be now for sure going into the future. This challenge is gonna last hours in the future.
but like 25% of your body weight, then like Joe and David were huge up beforehand, and they're like God, they're holding up quite a bit of weight there. Um, Joe looked like he's lost more weight than David has, because David still looks huge. Yeah, but yeah, maybe they do this challenge a little bit further. You know, like in another 3 days, you would get the result.
Yeah, good point. Tone, your thoughts on the challenge?
Pretty predictable. Joe's side was really easy. There's no way he was going to lose on that side. And the only guy that could challenge David was Kyle, but that wasn't even close because Kyle, I don't even think he struggled at all, unless he just hit it really well. But there was no way he was going to lose to Joe. There was no way.
David, yeah, you meant?
What did I say?
You said
Kyle.
Kyle wasn't gonna lose to
Oh, yeah,
Joe.
David wasn't going to lose to Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. He could have went a lot longer.
My other notes here was a lot of the talking during that challenge was pretty funny. The body by Jeff comments when the fitness magazine cover shoot when the four of them were up there.
Price of milk's going to go up. Everybody's going to order buy milk.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, good call.
Jade, is
Nice call, Bob.
the allowance your wife gives you going to cover that? You're trying to get pretty swole, hey? How many push-ups you do in February?
Oh, you're not wrong.
2,000, but who's counting?
You did.
You.
It's also funny when Kyle said what he got some skin ripped off, and he said it's a callus, and then the whole group said it's a wart.
So, yeah,
That was pretty funny.
brought that back. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I think we covered everything on the challenge. I think that was probably the most entertaining part of the episode. Okay, so the two groups were split. The first group was Joe, Eva, Star, Chrissy, Mitch, and Say. So let's talk about that group for a second. We all know that Say got voted out. First of all, I guess, what are your feelings about that vote out? Let's start with Coach Mitch this time. About the vote out on the first group.
Oh, I've been waiting for Day to be voted out for a while now. Still, that was in a way that's fine. I just thought it was an easy vote for that group because Day was the most unlikable out of that group. Could they have gone for somebody else and really flip the table? How if Trissy was taking a tribal that at some point are going to turn on each other. It just isn't now. I think they might have had an opportunity to get someone like Joe out there. I don't know, but
Joe had immunity.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Somebody else. Oh, straight.
Mitch would have been the other guy.
Yeah, Mitch. Yeah, Mitch probably would have been the better game move other than Say.
I was actually starting to say was starting to grow on me when she's
Really?
when she yeah her quotes are funny, and when she does things like write in fancy cursive to vote for Cedric, she's either diabolical, crazy, or super smart. I don't know. She probably could be super awesome if she didn't have this mafia boss mentality that everybody needs revenge, or she needs revenge on anybody who writes her name down.
I think they just didn't want her on the jury.
That's true.
Yeah, they did say they didn't want her on the jury. And yeah, Bob, I mean, I agree. She was probably the most, I don't know, entertaining, I guess you could say. I don't know if that's the correct word, but
Good for TV.
Good for TV person on the show up to this point, in terms of creating drama.
Yeah, she was a villain.
Yeah, she definitely was a villain. My thoughts, I really thought, because I don't know where Chrissy stands in this group. Like, I don't know if she's still trying to be her old Siva Strong, but even if she was, I think they missed a real opportunity of blindsiding Eva here by getting Chrissy, Say, and Mitch together and using Mitch's block vote to blindside Eva, taking out a Loggy, taking out one of the strong people, and actually like making a move, because who knows what's going to happen after this. Where does Chrissy go after this? Where does Mitch go after this? They're not in a tight alliance with anyone. So I thought this was a missed opportunity by the stragglers, let's call them, to make a big move on the big alliance. That's my thoughts on that. Tone, you have thoughts on the script?
I don't think they would have been able to band together and do that. Say and Mitch don't get along, right? And Chrissy doesn't really have any power. So, I guess technically they could have, but I just don't think they could have worked together to do that. And then Star wasn't. Her and Eva are getting along. Then there's Joe and Eva, so they kind of run that side. So I don't think that trio can make any moves.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, technically they could have done it. Did they have the smarts or a strategy to pull it off? I guess not. They couldn't work together well enough to do that. But I mean, they could have if they had the guts. Shane, I didn't get to ask you about this tribe or group.
Yeah, I think I agree with you what you guys saying. Like, in theory, yes, they could have, but I think the stragglers are just trying to survive. So I think they're gonna try to vote with the majority as much as possible, and kind of like be floaters, because they don't want to they don't want to go against a majority right now. And yeah, they don't have the smarts to be like, hey, we're all in the bottom, let's all join up.
Yeah.
I think they just want to, survive, like I said.
Yeah, I totally see that. And especially in this small split group, you just want to be safe, right? If there was maybe if they didn't split and maybe it was all of them together and try to vote someone off, maybe they could pull something off. But it's very hard, like Ant said, to try something in this small of a group. All right, I guess. Well, goodbye to Say, and hopefully next week we can stop pronouncing her name wrong.
Yeah, I think we'll see her again. I think I might start to remember that she was on the cast of the 50th season.
Wouldn't surprise me. All right, let's flip it over to the other group here. This one wasn't straightforward. We saw that Kyle and Camilla were trying to maybe get Shaheen out if David went along with it, but looks like David didn't, and Cedric ends up going out. Bob, what are your thoughts on this group?
Well, another easy vote. I put my rankings down a little bit for Camilla and Kyle just because they tried something and it didn't work out. So I bumped them down a notch just because if word gets out, if David talks to Shoheen and stuff about blah blah blah, they're trying to push for you, then that could get their names on the rise for tribals. But otherwise, I think David is still he's doing well. I think he's still trying to play this honest integrity game, and they approached him with something against his alliance and didn't really bite on it in the end, I guess. So everybody took the easy vote of Cedric.
Yeah. Tone?
I don't think I would take points off of Kyle and Camilla for that. I think they brought it up, but they probably didn't want to push it too hard.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. As long as they didn't push too hard with David, then they're probably fine.
Yeah, I think positionally they're still good. I don't think anyone sees them as a team yet, and they haven't been brought up. I think, at least.
Yeah.
Shoheen, I thought, was starting to aim for Kyle.
Oh yeah,
but Kyle was smart enough to
so.
recognize it. He was aware of it.
Right, yeah. But as a team, they haven't been recognized yet.
Sorry. Just refresh my memory. When was Shaheem going or looking at Kyle?
It did happen.
He looked through his bag.
Well, there's that, but even one of his confessionals, he mentioned that he was thinking about aiming for Kyle.
Okay, is it recently? Or was it back? Okay.
Yeah, Kyle and Camilla were talking about how, out of all of them, of the Strong Alliance, Shoheen was probably the most sneaky, and could do something different than planned. So I think that's one of the reasons too. Shane, what are your thoughts on this group?
I think so. Sir, we're gonna stick with Kyle and Camilla. I think that, I don't think they needed to throw out Shaheen's name out there or do anything risky at this point because they are laying low. I think they could be a duo who just quietly in the shadows or operate in the shadows. I don't think they're at that point where they need to be saying names and stuff. That's just my opinion. But yeah, I don't know. That's all.
Yeah, I agree with you there. Especially if they weren't going to eliminate the person that they were going after. Now that person's still there. Now David knows that, Camilla's putting stuff out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's this might not work out for them in the next episode.
Yeah, my thing is don't say a name unless you really have to. And I think they're at that point where they're not really threatened. I know Kyle feels threatened, but I still feel like he's in a good spot where he doesn't really have to go after anyone.
Yeah. Mitch, what's your thoughts on this group?
I thought after that would work really well for them, and Cal and Camilla just wanted to add something else to the resume, and probably a vote too soon, as people were alluding to. I thought the other groups, somebody like Mary was hey, I'll just get with whatever, and so it was a fairly easy to vote with this group, even though it made it look like they might blindside Sheen, but David stuck true with the Strong People Alliance at the end. So yeah,
I feel like just because this was a split tribe vote, this was the time, a reasonable time for them to push for this, because they only really had to sell one of their alliance members on it instead of 3.
Yeah, that's very true.
I think Cedric's he's not a threat, right? So it's kind of like a waste of if you could get someone stronger out, If you have the opportunity, you might as well take it. Because what's Cedric going to do? And at this point, you want to take out the strong players if you're a weaker player, right? At the beginning, you want the stronger players so your tribe survives. But at a certain point, you want to take out the stronger players, or else they're just going to run the game.
They're trying to right now.
Exactly.
Okay, I noticed both of these two did not play their shot in the dark, and they must have felt confident enough to do that, but I don't see how they could feel confident enough to not play their shot in the dark,
Say's
especially
delusional.
Say, right? Because I can't remember what did Shay think they were. Who did Say think that she was? Oh,
Mitch.
just wait.
Mitch.
You know
Mitch.
what?
Because a block vote.
Yeah, Say couldn't play her shot in the dark because her vote got blocked.
All right.
That's right.
Ooh, yeah, good call.
And you need your vote to be able to use your shot in the dark. So I guess it was just Cedric who didn't use it, and I guess he was convinced enough that they were going to go after Shohin, but he was wrong.
Did Camilla and Kyle even mention it to Cedric, or were they just trying to convince David?
Oh yes, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Shohin was the decoy vote, remember, and he didn't like that.
Nobody likes it.
Nobody
No,
likes being
yeah.
the decoy vote.
Yeah.
So I think they all told Cedric it was going to be Shohin.
But now that he was the decoy vote and successfully survived it, maybe he trusts Kyle and Camilla and the rest of them even more now. It'll be easier to take him out later.
Interesting.
Unless David tells Shohin.
Right. David could tell Shohin that Camilla thinks that he has an idol. And that could wreck a lot of stuff for Kyle and Camilla. All right. Let's talk about the rankings first over for everybody here. Not too much to talk about. At the top we have Eva at 4.3. Most of the rest of her lines, David, Joe, and Kyle at 4.2. Camilla at 3.9. Shohin at 3.7. So he got a lower score than his alliance mates, his allies. Mary got 3.6. Mitch 2.8. Star 2.8. And Chrissy 2.2. I just want to talk about Chrissy there. The reason I gave Chrissy a 2 is because she's one of these stragglers that's not really in an alliance, and also because she missed an opportunity to do something, although it would have been difficult, but there was an opportunity to do something and knock that alliance down, and that's why I give her a 2. And I see most of you gave her 2s also. Anything other than that about Chrissy that you guys gave her 2s for?
It's for me, it's that tribal council. When she was going on her little rant, right? She's talking about like the strong people need to go or whatever, right? Like it made Joe like, wait a second, like question it. Yeah, I was like, what are you doing right now? I don't like, is she trying to foreshadow what she's gonna do in the future? But I think she said way too much there.
Agreed. Yeah, totally agreed. Way too much. Any of your guys' thoughts on anything else about this? About the tribe, how you rank the people, how you feel people are doing?
Mary might still be in a sneaky good spot.
Yeah,
she's not a threat, but she's not really aligned with anybody, so she could be an easy vote.
She's the sole surviving Vula member.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. She's gonna float to the end.
Pick her up.
She's gonna float to the end.
Yeah, like anyone don't want to make a dumb move, they'll probably need a Mary to help out. Mary and Mitch, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree. I think she should lay low and wait till someone needs to use her or wants to use her. Definitely don't try to start anything herself, because then that will make her a target. But I think she's pretty invisible, and especially with her short stature compared to the Goliaths that are on that tribe. I think no
Maybe
one will
she could-
notice her and
Maybe she could
or
be a swing
consider her a
vote
threat.
for someone.
Is that Tone?
Maybe she could be a swing vote for someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I don't think. Yeah, she's not a threat that they're like, oh, we have to get her out.
Yeah.
And plus,
she'll
she's by herself, so I don't think anyone's looking at her unless she goes rogue and starts throwing out names and starts doing something crazy. But yeah, I don't think anyone's gonna find her a threat.
Okay, what I want to do now is play another round of what would the STFU crew do. And I know we had a question last week that we was an idea to throw out this round, but I thought of one that's more related to this episode that I wanted to ask you guys first. So we'll save the one we thought about last week to next week. So it's about immunity challenges, specifically endurance challenges. I want to ask, which endurance challenge would you prefer to do, or would you think you would be best at? Okay, so there's this challenge where you're holding onto that bar and they're ripping up your hands. Okay, and you're testing your grip strength. The other challenge that I thought about was the one where you're standing in between the two poles on the little ledges for your feet, and you have to keep going down to lower little ledges for your feet. The other one, the third one, is the hanging on to a pole. Right? Yeah, hanging on to a pole like a koala bear.
No, pass.
And then the last one that I could think of was the endurance challenge where you're in the water under the grate holding your breath.
Oh hell no!
No, I would literally
No,
die.
no,
I'll be
no,
the
no,
first
okay,
contestant that
no,
actually
no,
dies.
Yeah,
Wait.
absolutely.
No.
Yeah,
Those
out.
four. Those are the four.
No, I pass on all those.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Let's go with Shane first. Out of those four,
Out of those
which would you
four,
prefer to-
you know what? I got just do the bucket one. I think I would be too claustrophobic to be under the grates. That pole scares me because you're so high up, and like holding on to it. There's no way. I would probably break something falling all the way down. And then the one where you have to hold on to the with your feet and your arms. Yeah, I'm not a foot guy, so I don't want them showing my feet the whole time. So, and you know how there's always flies and stuff flying around too. No, I'm good. So it's gotta be the bucket one. I'd probably pull Cedric and just drop out.
Okay, Coach Mitch, what would you do?
I give up that first one as well. The one with my feet and pushing out, no way going underneath the other water, no way hanging on to the pole. I did probably just get slivers and cuts going down. So yeah, the a bucket one would probably be the easiest. I tried to be like the third one out, but not the first one out. Yeah, so yeah.
Okay, Bob, what about you?
I'll be the one negotiating with Jeff for rice for those who sit out. Just kidding. I would be hanging on to the tree pole.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I can see you doing that.
I
The
can't
long
single
arms
out.
and the legs. That's why,
Yeah.
Bob.
Well, yeah, I don't have one single body part that's gonna strengthen the other, so I got to use them all.
Okay, if Andre was here, he would say you're used to hang on to poles.
He would. I know.
Yeah.
Thanks for filling in for him.
So if he was
Okay.
here, that's what he would say.
I owe him a good one now.
Yeah.
Virus smack
Burn
talk.
that is. To be clear.
If he was here.
Okay. Tone, how about you?
I'll do the water one. It's not like you're chained down there. So if you run out of air for whatever, if the water gets too high, you can just get out. There's no pain involved. So you're asking what we'd rather do, not what we'd have a better chance of winning at. So I'll do the water one.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What would, if I did ask you, what would you do best at? Would that change?
I actually probably wouldn't. No, I probably have the best chance of the water too, but yeah.
Yeah, I can see that too. I can see you doing well there. I don't know. I can see you just being in a complete zen state underneath the water.
Yeah, I don't think I'd panic if I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. I'd just quit.
I agree.
I wouldn't even know where to
That's
go.
what-
Like, you know what I mean?
If I did the water one, you guys might think I'd fall asleep under there. So
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
Jay's
Wow.
fine.
We're going on 7 hours. Like, what the?
Yeah, well, it's so purple. He likes purple.
Yeah, do that.
yeah, for a lot of the reasons you guys said about the in between the poles ones, I wouldn't be able to do. I've sensitive feet.
Yeah.
I'd be in pain almost instantly.
Mhm.
If on the very first ledge, and then I think hugging that pole one, I think I would cramp up really quick. I'm just old, and I cramp easy now.
You are old, yeah.
So I was between the water one and the grip one, and I think I would go with the grip one. I think I have decent grip strength, so I think I would do best at it. I don't know how well I do at it, but that would be my best chance.
Test it out. Let's rig it up.
Yeah,
Do it.
It's 25% of your
Let's do
body
it.
weight.
Yeah. 25%.
come on, Bob, build that in your backyard, and let's do it.
Okay, so
Or
Do it.
Mitch will. Mitch is gonna build it.
calculate
We
25% of my body weight. At
You guys should actually do it. That'd be awesome.
That would
Let's
that
see
would
how
be
long
awesome.
we go.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
wow.
Okay, summer project at Mitch's.
Summer project. Okay.
I like
We're
it.
gonna build all the challenges, all the survivor challenges at Mitch's place.
Ooh.
Well, hold on. Shane is the
What's
the
up?
one with the pool. So
Oh, we could do it under the water at Shane's
Ooh,
place.
under the water.
Yeah.
Let's do this.
I'm just saying.
Let's
Got
do
Shane
this.
will have a pool this summer.
We have to make big ocean waves to simulate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The tides.
I'll fart in the water.
Oh, of course you would.
You would.
And we all
There you go.
drown.
Make
Among
waves.
other things.
All right. Okay, back to the episode. Anything else you guys want to mention about the episode?
Sure, I had a question for you. Maybe a new feature segment in here, possibly. I would
Ooh,
say
feature
ooh,
you
segment.
could title the episode. What would you title it? I was gonna go with These Hoochies.
What?
That's what
These?
Faye said. That was one of her quotes. She's
What
like,
the heck?
they're obsessed with me.
That's your girl.
Oh,
Is that what she says?
She did say it.
Oh.
Hmm.
I don't remember.
My title would be easy. It'd be Clash of the Titans.
Ooh, good one.
Ooh.
That's
Oh, I think it'd be The Rock versus Captain America, but they probably weren't allowed to use that.
yeah, they probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Waka, 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 waka.
Yeah, something like
What
that.
about you guys? Anything? Titles? Body by Jeff.
Ooh,
A
Body
Body
by
by-
Jeff. Yeah, I like that.
Jeff is really good. Yeah, they're really good.
And then they did the advertisement to apply for the show right
Oh,
there.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they
Get off the
incorporated
couch.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. With Kyle.
almost caught me. Almost caught me.
that.
I'm surprised you haven't, Mitch.
I know. I'm just so. I know.
Well,
Weird about that
I
stuff.
think Mitch took your spot. Mitch,
Absolutely. Yeah.
Wait,
He's-
you
who
waited too
Killing
long.
it. He's killing it, Kazo. So.
Yeah, he is killing it.
did Eva was the second last in her group, right?
Yeah, to Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She went out before Joe. Yeah.
I thought Mitch would have been better. But
Yeah,
or
that
or
one?
wait, did he come in third? He
Yeah.
must have came in third, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, pretty sure.
I'm not sure
His-
if it was a
quote-
slip
his
or if
quote
he
was
just got
funny,
tired.
too.
Was,
What was his
that
quote?
it?
His quote was, "I'm playing Survivor with superheroes."
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I couldn't remember if he got tired or if it was like a slip.
I don't know. Once if I was doing that and I thought I was doing really well, and then looked over and David and all those guys are like one handing it, I'm like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, like why am I struggling just to see these guys and like
Mhm.
David's like flexing and stuff. Like, come on,
Oh, yeah. He's
Yeah.
posing.
come
That
on
was
now.
awesome.
I kind of feel Joe was doing it out of necessity. I don't think he was showing off. I think he was trying to give the other hand a break and then switch.
Oh
Dave
yeah.
is just
Yeah,
Dave's just having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hate those
Joe
guys.
wanted to eat for a while. So he really wanted to eat.
The one thing I did notice was Chrissy's lats. She's pretty fit. She had her arms up, and you could see her lats at the side. That was pretty
You're like a
impressive.
reverse cougar.
A reverse
okay.
cougar.
Um,
A reverse cougar?
Yeah, what's
What's the like?
What does that mean?
Well,
yeah,
Okay.
you might have to
It's the
explain
young
that.
guy trying to get the old lady.
oh, talk about Jay.
Oh, what?
Oh,
Jeez, me?
What? I'm so confused. I'm not even drinking this week. I'm confused, man.
What are you
Okay.
drinking? I saw that green drink. I
Oh
thought
no,
you
it's
made like
Gatorade, guys. I'm trying to
Oh.
hydrate.
Okay.
All
Right.
right. Any other comments, guys? Feedback?
No, Shane. I agree with Shane. It wasn't a very eventful episode.
It's forgettable.
Yeah. Wasn't there much. Oh, I did have in my notes that Mitch didn't have to use his block of vote. Like,
yeah.
he didn't have to use it at all, but he burned it. I don't know why he even did that, but
Well, he was afraid.
Didn't he
Right.
say it was to show?
Yeah.
I'm using it to show because I'm playing to my word or whatever.
but why would you say you're gonna do that?
But they told say they're voting for who?
Mitch, I think.
For Mitch. Okay, so Mitch probably got spooked.
Yeah.
That's something
Yeah.
Mitches do.
It's
Well, he's also wanting to take that a bit of a target off his back as well. Stay out of this stragglers if he was the
Oh,
only
yeah.
one with an advantage.
yeah, good point.
True
Get that off his back.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, but no one's it hasn't shown any like it hasn't shown anyone talk about his block of vote though, right?
They did at one of them at the sanctuary.
Right. They just said that he had it, but
Yeah. Yeah.
they didn't say anything about taking it out of play.
No.
It was
No.
more
But they-
like idols.
But they did talk about how how Joe and Shoheen were scared of Mitch after he was
Yeah.
on to talk to him.
Yeah.
After they were talking all together.
Mhm.
Mm,
So, like, he has a good story. He's a good guy. Very sociable.
Yeah.
Mailman Mitch.
yeah, mailman.
Mailman
Mitch.
Mitch. Yes,
That's
right.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he coached a whole bunch of teams, Coach Mitch.
Mhm.
He took your spot, man.
I know. That's okay. He's still representing though.
He's representing all the Coach Mitches.
But
Yeah.
you'll have less of a chance of getting on now. They already got your archetype.
Yeah.
Archetype. Yeah.
But I can say, but how cool would that be for the show if they got like another Mitch, like
Oh.
exactly.
Mitch 2.0.
Coach Mitch
Yeah.
versus
Exactly.
Coach Mitch.
The real
Yeah.
Survivor
Survivor
the real
Yeah.
Oh, they
51.
should do
Mitch.
Survivor
So that
doppelgangers.
could get me on for
Doppelgangers.
2 seasons.
Yes.
Yeah,
on your
I'll be on my own
intro tape,
season.
you can say how you'd be better than the original Coach.
Yeah.
I'd have on my own season, and then afterwards, they'll want to bring us both back
Yeah.
for season 60. I don't know.
Doppelgangers,
Yeah.
like Tone
You'll
said.
be 60.
They'll be
Yeah.
they'll have Joe and they'll have the
50.
Rock there too. Joe versus the Rock also. We got separate tribes.
Jeez. And Shoheen versus Jose Batista.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Eva versus Julia Stiles. Just joking. No, but Cedric and the guy from This Is Us,
Oh yes.
right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I didn't watch that.
Oh no, he
I
was
don't know. I just
the ripped
know from
dad.
the promos.
no,
Look at
not the
that.
Rip Dad. No,
Doesn't
He-
Kyle look like some kind of actor?
Kyle.
He seems like he'd be on TV.
Yeah, young Wesley Snipes.
Ooh,
No.
Wesley Snipes.
Not that dark.
Arsenio Hall.
Ooh, a young
yeah.
Arsenio
That's a good
Hall.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that Arsenio Hall.
Yeah.
Okay, anyone else? Camille?
Hopefully our
No.
listeners would get that
Um,
reference. Those,
You just dated yourself.
Yeah, I did. Woo, 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 woo.
Oh wait, it's Kyle. Kyle's the guy, the black guy from California Dreamin'.
Oh, yes. How did you think of that?
I just think of
California.
him and then an actor that would look like him.
Oh, that's actually awesome. I like that.
That's what we're trying to do,
Wait,
isn't it?
Mary can be the girl from California Dream.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh,
Oh, have the
geez.
cast from California Dreamin' on Survivor. There you go.
Nice. Jay, pull it up and put it on the screen.
California
Play the song.
Play it, Vsauce.
Too much work.
Surf dudes with attitudes.
Gonna groove it.
Yeah.
All right, that's good. Good time to end it there. So, a great session, guys. We'll be back next week. So, everyone, if your parole officer comes up to you and says, "Where have you been and what are you listening to?" you tell them, "ST."
F you.
Thanks, everyone. Talk to you next week.
Peace.
Probably not what you want to say.